Okay, this will probably be my last video for today, and then I'm gonna be chilling out. I'm gonna go get my hair cut or whatever, maybe. Anyway, I am gonna at least shave. Okay, so I have a question. I get a lot of homosexuals, and they usually call me crazy or tell me I'm this or that or whatever. But I have a question. All right, first thing, I want to try to understand this. I want to come to terms with them. Okay, with this issue. Okay, uh, why is it that every discriminate? My point is that this is not civil rights. Okay, nobody is infringing on your human rights. This is, you could say that you have a lifestyle. What makes it a lifestyle as opposed to just a sex style? I mean, there's literally no difference between me and a homosexual other than I don't sleep with men and he sleeps with his men, okay? With a man, okay? So what I'm saying is that there is no measurable difference. And with every other civil rights situation, that there is a measurable difference. I mean, it's not like you can go to the land of homosexuality and just snatch you a bunch of homosexuals and put on them and make them have sex with women. you know, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you can go to like cross the border and say like, well, you're all Mexicans. There's no difference that you can tell. It's not like, Japanese, where you can say, "Oh, you know what? You know what? You're absolutely Japanese." You can't tell the difference between. There's absolutely no difference between a homosexual and except for the fact that who they sleep with. And that's not something that you could tell on a job, filling out an application. You can't tell by their name. Like a black person, like you could say, well, Shaquita, Shaquita Mercedes, Gerard, Matumbo, I don't know any other. That's a different nationality, a different, or even people like Stevie Ryan. I know my cousin. They take a male name so that they can get the job interview. This is not anything that there is no measurable distance. Okay, in evolution, they say that homosexuals is really a gene to stop them from procreating. So it's like a self termination device. As far as Darwin is concerned. Which I believe in God, and I believe you were created and that you were meant for eternal life. That's what I believe. Okay, but in essence, there is practically no difference. Matter of fact, even if you have a homosexual man and he translates his translate whatever, whatever, his body into a woman, then you can't tell like if he's a woman or a man. I personally can, because I'm an artist and I'm a specialist in anatomy, and so I can generally tell. But 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 generally, you cannot, even if you transsexualize yourself, you can't tell the difference, except in the case of, and I'll ask some of you guys, have anybody ever seen a man with a beard wearing a woman's dress? Okay, that should be considered a homosexual. If you if every time, you're a little boy and you get caught in your mama's closet and you wearing female stuff, that should be liable homosexual, okay? If you go to a whole country and all the men, all right, except for the Scottish men, okay? Those aren't really dresses, okay? Those, there should be some measurable difference to tell whether a homosexual is a homosexual. And basically, there is none. So what I'm saying is, there is no discrimination based on any other thing. You can't tell that there should not be any new laws. Basically, there is absolutely no reason, no rhyme, or no reason or anything that you can tell a homosexual from anything. So my point is for us to make us some new laws or to do that. There is none. There is no. There's no different. You couldn't tell me, and most people, like I say, a lot of the way I dance around and stuff like that, and I dance anytime with anybody. Me and my buddies, we all grew up dancing. That's how you get good. Guys dance in groups. So my whole thing is like there is no difference between, there should be some kind of measurable difference. And so, unless you're a guy with a full-blown beard, and wearing a dress, nobody can really tell that you're any different from anybody else. So, I mean, to bring all these new laws and attentions, I really think that they break the rules. Like, why do they, unless it's convenient. So, they wear a dress, but they're not wearing a dress. If you're homosexual, I think that you should absolutely should, wear a dress. Now, I understand that some homosexuals say, well, it's really not, there's some kind of discrimination between homosexuals, between the effeminate ones and the macho ones and stuff like that. So, but, you should really, there should be some type of measurable difference, and there is none. So my whole thing is like, what's going on with that? Do you go on a job, if they make these laws, let's say that, if they make these laws, does that now mean that if you show up on an interview with a beard, now, of course, that not transsexual, but if you got a full-blown beard and got a dress on, a polka dotted dress on, does the employer have to pretend like there's nothing wrong? Is it some kind of chemical imbalance? So that's my point. How, if we're going to watch culture change before our very eyes, and now 17-year-old boys or 18-year-old boys can get married, okay? How, I mean, I think that homosexuals should really just kind of stick to their own rules. There's a reason why there's no homosexual country. Like the land of homosexuality. It's not meant to be into laws. It's not meant to have children. I talk about the defenseless children and the adoption and the baby train, the orphan train. Okay, why should there be special laws? Just out of common sense, why should it be special laws for people who believe if it's a lifestyle, then you have to admit that it's fully a lifestyle and you have to abide by those rules. So you should not, if you're a homosexual and your sex is homo And it's not, it's not even, I really, homosexuality is just an act of sexuality. It is not some other classification of people. It's just a behavior. If it was another classification of people, then we would be able to say, well, or her, well, or well, or well, they're giants. Like we talked about the Nephilim, me and Diamond Head. Diamond Head, you are a number one. You be coming with the real, and you be a cute. I mean, it'd be like no ifs, ands, and buts. I like her comments. But really, there should be some kind of measurable difference. And if you are homosexual, stick to your own rules. Now they always say, the Jewish people want their own country, right? We can tell Jewish people from anybody else, and their acts and stuff. There's some distinct values. What I'm saying is homosexuality is not, it's not a different race, I mean, women, there's a noticeable difference, okay? At least I notice it, I know homosexuals say, oh, well, there's no difference between the sexes, but there's literally no difference other than sex. So how has it become a lifestyle and not just a sex style? Why is there no homosexual country or no one region where they're all homosexuals? I'm not talking about like Soho or Chelsea Street. It's just like one street is homosexual, or one small club is homosexual, or a few clubs or a strip. Why isn't there a whole homosexual country? We obviously know that there wouldn't be any homosexuals if there was a homosexual country. So what I'm saying is homosexual is not something that has to be made some special law. Just do what you do. Just do what you do, and don't break the rules. If you don't want to ever have sex, you are not allowed to have my embryo, my sperm. That's so unfair. It's like homosexuality when it's convenient. Blacks don't have the convenience, We never had the convenience, It's like, okay, I'm just not I'm gonna take off, and put on white skin today. You're not gonna, well, I'm gonna take off the dress today. I'm gonna take off my lipstick and stuff, Schnacker schnow, I mean, even crazy people, them. You can obviously tell. You can see a crazy person from a distance, God bless you all. I love you all.